I like that condo. I was the lead in a Broadway show.
Well, all right, stop it! Enough! Everybody...
For many television fans, few sitcoms feel as warm and familiar as Everybody Loves Raymond. The show followed the everyday life of sports writer Ray Barone and his chaotic but loving family. What made the series special was not just the jokes, but the chemistry between the actors who played the Barone family. Viewers loved watching the constant arguments, misunderstandings, and funny moments between Ray, his wife Deborah, and his parents who lived right across the street. The cast felt incredibly real, which is why the show remained popular for many years. When it first premiered in 1996, nobody expected it would grow into one of the most beloved sitcoms in television history. Yet season after season, audiences kept coming back to watch the Barones deal with everyday family struggles in hilarious ways. At the center of it all was Ray Romano, whose stand-up comedy inspired the entire series. Alongside him were talented actors like Patricia Heaton, Doris Roberts, and Peter Boyle, each bringing something unique to the show. Over time, fans grew deeply attached to these characters, almost as if they were part of their own families. That is why many viewers were curious about what happened when the show ended in 2005 after 9 successful seasons. Some people assumed certain actors had left because of personal problems or disagreements. Others believed that some cast members simply disappeared from television afterward. In reality, the truth behind these departures is more complex and often more emotional than fans realize. Each actor had their own reason for stepping away from the spotlight or choosing a different path after the series ended. Some wanted to explore other creative projects, while others focused on personal health, family life, or new opportunities outside television. Understanding these stories gives fans a deeper appreciation for the people who helped make the show so memorable. One of the most unforgettable characters on the show was Marie Barone, the overly involved and sometimes controlling mother who never hesitated to give her opinion. This character was played brilliantly by Doris Roberts, an actress whose sharp timing and expressive personality helped make Marie one of the most memorable sitcom mothers ever. Throughout the 9 seasons of the show, Marie was known for interfering in Ray and Deborah's marriage, constantly criticizing Deborah's cooking, and showing unconditional love for her sons. Even though Marie could be annoying at times, fans understood that her behavior came from a place of deep love for her family. When the show ended in 2005, many viewers expected Roberts to appear in another major television role soon after. However, that did not happen in the way some fans expected. In truth, Roberts did not step away from acting because of problems with the show or its cast. The series simply came to a natural end while it was still successful. The creators felt it was better to finish the story on a high note rather than continue until audiences lost interest. After spending nearly a decade playing Marie Barone, Roberts felt a strong connection to the character. She often explained in interviews that Marie was a role she truly understood. Playing such a well-known character can sometimes make it difficult for actors to move on to other parts. Many viewers continued to see Roberts as Marie, which made new roles harder to find. Instead of accepting every offer she received, Roberts became selective about the projects she chose. She wanted roles that challenged her abilities rather than repeating the same type of character again and again. This decision meant she appeared less frequently on television, but it allowed her to focus on work that she found meaningful and rewarding. Even though Doris Roberts was not constantly appearing on television after the sitcom ended, she certainly did not stop working. In fact, she returned to one of her first loves in acting, the theater stage. Long before she became a household name on television, Roberts had spent many years performing in stage productions. Theater gave her the opportunity to explore deeper characters and perform in front of live audiences, something she truly enjoyed. After the end of Everybody Loves Raymond, she began focusing more on these types of creative projects. Roberts also spent time writing about her experiences in the entertainment industry. She published a memoir called Are You Hungry, Dear?, where she shared stories about her life, career, and personal challenges. In the book, she talked openly about her long journey in Hollywood and the many obstacles she faced along the way. One of the issues she often spoke about was ageism in the entertainment industry. Roberts believed that older actors were sometimes ignored or given very limited opportunities. She used her voice to advocate for more respect and better roles for senior performers. This advocacy became an important part of her life after the show ended. Although she was not starring in another long-running sitcom, Roberts still made occasional appearances on television. She appeared in guest roles on popular programs, reminding fans of her incredible talent and charm. These appearances allowed audiences to see her in different kinds of characters, while still appreciating the warmth and humor that made her famous. Roberts continued working in various ways until the final years of her life. When she passed away in 2016, many fans felt they had lost someone who had brought laughter into their homes for nearly a decade. Her performance as Marie Barone remains one of the most iconic roles in sitcom history. Another key member of the Barone family was the grumpy yet hilarious father, Frank Barone. This unforgettable character was played by Peter Boyle, whose dry humor and sarcastic delivery made Frank one of the funniest parts of the show. Frank was known for his blunt comments, constant teasing, and stubborn personality. Despite his rough exterior, viewers could often see that he cared deeply about his family. Boyle's performance gave the character a unique balance of humor and heart, making him stand out in almost every scene. Like Roberts, Boyle did not leave the show during its run. He remained part of the series from its beginning in 1996 until its final episode in 2005. However, many fans later realized that Boyle had been dealing with serious health problems while filming the show. Over the years, he experienced several medical challenges, including a heart attack and other health complications. Despite these struggles, Boyle continued to work and rarely allowed his difficulties to affect his performance. His dedication to his craft showed how committed he was to the show and to the people he worked with. The cast often described him as someone who brought laughter to the set even when he was not feeling his best. Boyle had already built an impressive career long before joining the sitcom. He appeared in many well-known films, including Young Frankenstein and Taxi Driver, proving that he could perform both comedy and drama with equal skill. When he joined the sitcom, he introduced a new generation of viewers to his talent. For many fans, Frank Barone became one of the most memorable television fathers ever created. When Everybody Loves Raymond finally came to an end, Peter Boyle remained close with the cast and crew who had become like family to him. Sadly, only a year after the show finished, Boyle passed away in 2006 at the age of 71. His death deeply affected the other actors, especially Ray Romano, who had spent nearly a decade working alongside him. Romano and the rest of the cast often spoke about how kind and supportive Boyle had been both on and off the set. Even though Frank Barone was known for his sarcastic and sometimes harsh personality, Boyle himself was known to be thoughtful and warm toward his coworkers. During filming, he often joked with the cast between scenes, helping create a relaxed and friendly environment. Many behind-the-scenes stories describe how he could make everyone laugh even during long and tiring production days. His ability to bring humor into the workplace helped strengthen the close bond between the actors. Boyle's commitment to the show also showed in the way he continued performing despite health challenges. Rather than stepping away, he remained dedicated to the role until the very end of the series. Because of this dedication, fans never saw a decline in the quality of his performance. Frank Barone remained just as funny and entertaining in the final seasons as he was in the early episodes. After his passing, many viewers returned to watch the show again, appreciating his work even more. Through reruns and streaming platforms, Boyle's performances continue to bring laughter to audiences around the world. His role as Frank Barone remains a lasting reminder of his incredible talent and the joy he brought to television. Among the younger members of the Barone family was Ally Barone, the intelligent and sometimes sarcastic daughter of Ray and Deborah. This role was played by Madeline Sweeten, who became a familiar face for millions of viewers watching Everybody Loves Raymond. When the show began in 1996, Madeline was only a young child. Over the course of the series, audiences watched her grow from a small girl into a teenager. Growing up on a television set is a very unusual experience for any child. While many kids spend their days in school or playing with friends, Madeline spent much of her time working with cameras, scripts, and professional actors. Despite this unusual childhood, she handled the experience with maturity and talent. Her character often provided a humorous contrast to the chaos created by the adults in the Barone family. Sometimes Ally was the most sensible person in the room, quietly observing the arguments happening around her. After the series ended in 2005, many fans wondered what would happen to Madeline next. Some child actors quickly move into other major roles after a successful show, but Madeline chose a different path. Instead of rushing into another big television project, she decided to take time away from the spotlight. For someone who had spent nearly her entire childhood working in the entertainment industry, this decision made sense. She wanted the opportunity to experience life outside the world of television. This included focusing on her education, spending time with family, and discovering who she was as a person beyond the character of Ally Barone. Taking this step allowed her to grow at her own pace rather than feeling pressured to stay constantly visible in Hollywood. For many child actors, the transition into adulthood can be difficult, especially after starring in a very popular television series. Madeline Sweeten understood that continuing her career in Hollywood required careful decisions. After the end of Everybody Loves Raymond, she chose to focus on personal growth rather than immediate fame. During this time, she explored different interests and considered what kind of acting work she truly wanted to pursue in the future. The entertainment industry can sometimes pressure young performers to remain constantly in the spotlight. However, Madeline showed maturity by stepping back and giving herself time to grow. Eventually, she did return to acting, but in a different way than many people expected. Instead of joining another large television series, she began working on smaller projects such as independent films and theater productions. These types of projects allowed her to express her creativity while avoiding the intense public attention that often comes with major television roles. Independent films, in particular, gave her the opportunity to experiment with different characters and storytelling styles. This approach showed that she was more interested in meaningful work than in simply chasing fame. In addition to acting, Madeline also developed other creative interests, including writing and performing in live theater. Theater work allowed her to reconnect with the artistic side of acting and perform directly in front of audiences. Many fans admired her decision to follow her own path rather than trying to repeat the success of her childhood role. While she may not appear on television as often as some other actors, she continues to work creatively and maintain a balanced personal life. Her story is an example of how stepping away from fame can sometimes lead to a healthier and more fulfilling career. Another memorable part of the Barone family was Ray and Deborah's twin sons, Jeffrey and Michael. These roles were played by real-life twins Sawyer Sweeten and Sullivan Sweeten. From the moment they appeared on screen, the two boys added an extra layer of humor and chaos to the family dynamic in Everybody Loves Raymond. When the series began, the twins were extremely young, only about 16 months old. As a result, they grew up almost entirely on the set of the show. Their childhood memories included camera lights, scripts, and working alongside professional actors who had decades of experience. Even though they were very young during much of the series, their presence helped create the realistic feeling of a busy household with children. Unlike adult actors who choose acting as a career, child actors often enter the industry because of decisions made by their parents or guardians. As Sawyer and Sullivan grew older, they began to consider what kind of future they wanted for themselves. After the show ended in 2005, both brothers gradually stepped away from acting. This decision surprised some fans who expected them to continue appearing in television or film roles. However, their choice reflected a desire to live a more private life away from the constant attention that comes with being part of a famous television show. Growing up in the public eye can be challenging, and stepping away from Hollywood allowed them to focus on education, friendships, and everyday experiences that many child actors miss. Their decision showed that fame was not the most important thing in their lives. Although the end of Everybody Loves Raymond marked a new beginning for many of the cast members, life after the show was not always easy. Like many people who grow up in the entertainment industry, the Sweeten family faced personal challenges in the years that followed. In 2015, the family experienced a heartbreaking loss when Sawyer Sweeten passed away at the young age of 19. His death shocked fans of the show and deeply affected his family and former co-stars. Many members of the cast expressed their sadness and shared memories of working with him during the years they spent filming the sitcom. For viewers who had watched him grow up on screen, the news felt especially emotional. It reminded people that the actors they see on television are real individuals with their own lives and struggles outside the world of entertainment. During this difficult time, Sullivan Sweden and the rest of the family chose to stay mostly out of the public spotlight. They focused on supporting one another and honoring Sawyer's memory. Several cast members from the show also shared kind messages and expressed their love for the Sweden family. These reactions showed how strong the bond between the actors remained even years after the series ended. The experience was a reminder that the friendships formed during the show were genuine and lasting. Although the loss was tragic, fans continue to remember Sawyer for the joyful moments he brought to the screen as part of the Barone family. Looking back at the history of Everybody Loves Raymond, it becomes clear that the show's success was built on more than just clever writing and funny situations. The real strength of the series came from the talented actors who brought the Barone family to life. Each member of the cast contributed something special that helped audiences feel connected to the characters and their everyday struggles. After the show ended, the lives of these actors moved in different directions. Doris Roberts continued pursuing creative projects and advocating for older actors in Hollywood. Peter Boyle left behind a powerful legacy of comedy and dedication to his craft. Madeline Sweeten chose to step away from constant fame in order to grow and explore her creativity in new ways. Meanwhile, Sawyer Sweeten and Sullivan Sweeten decided to live more private lives outside the entertainment industry. Each of these decisions reflects the different priorities and experiences of the people behind the characters. While fans may sometimes wonder why certain actors disappear from television, the truth is often simple. Life moves forward, and people choose the paths that feel right for them. Even though the cast members followed different journeys after the show ended, their work together continues to bring joy to audiences around the world. Through reruns and streaming services, new viewers continue to discover the humor and warmth of the Barone family. In this way, the legacy of the show lives on. The actors may have moved on to new chapters in their lives, but the laughter and memories they created remain as strong as ever. One of the reasons Everybody Loves Raymond remained so successful for nearly a decade was the genuine connection between the actors. While many sitcoms rely heavily on scripts and jokes, this show also benefited from the real friendship that developed among the cast members. Ray Romano often spoke in interviews about how much he respected and appreciated his fellow actors. He described working with people like Patricia Heaton, Doris Roberts, and Peter Boyle as one of the best experiences of his career. Their chemistry on screen felt natural because they genuinely enjoyed working together. Many behind-the-scenes stories reveal how the cast spent time joking and laughing between scenes, creating a relaxed and friendly environment on set. This strong bond helped the actors portray the chaotic but loving Barone family in a believable way. Even when the characters argued or insulted one another on screen, there was always a feeling of warmth underneath the humor. After the show ended, many of the actors continued to stay in touch and support each other's projects. When tragedies occurred, such as the deaths of Peter Boyle and later Doris Roberts, the